Having said so many things about the entrepreneurial school, now we are moving to the very important part. As you have noted our pattern of discussion, that about every school we touch peak of discussion through discussing the premises, and premises mean the underlying assumptions or the foundations of that particular school. Now we are moving towards the premises of entrepreneurial school. Its first premise is strategy exists in the mind of the leader as perspective, specifically a sense of long-term direction, a vision of the organization's future. Actually, in entrepreneurial school, the strategy is the product of the mind of the entrepreneur, and he only knows the what will happen the next. The first premise on which the entrepreneurial school is standing is this, that the strategy is not available in any blueprint as it was available under the design school. Rather, it is in the mind of the entrepreneur, and it exists there as a perspective, as a worldview, that what would be the organization's stance in the market, how will it be moving, or in long run, which direction it will be taken in the future. So this is the first premise. Second is, the process of strategy formation is semi-conscious at best, rooted in the experience and intuition of the leader. Under the planning school and the positioning school, or even in the design school, it was our premise that strategy is a conscious process, controlled process. In the entrepreneurial school, it is not so, as it is. It is argued here that it is a subconscious. Subconscious means, or semi-conscious means, that when you remember, I believe that we talked about deliberate and emergent strategies. In under 5 P's of strategy, we believe that strategy at the time can be deliberate and emergent. You remember that I cited an example that if early in the morning you decide to move out of your place, you set a target to go somewhere, but actually when you reach that place, the path may not be exactly what you decided. It means that planning is semi-conscious. There is something about the strategy in the mind of the entrepreneur as a vision, but whole details are not decided. These details will be decided en route, on the way. So that is the second premise of entrepreneurial school. The third is, the leader promotes the vision single-mindedly. In the vision under the entrepreneurial school, or it can be witnessed in the entrepreneurial organization, I would suggest you to find out those organizations where the founder is still alive. You would find out that these organizations are actually the extension of the personality of that owner. The organization is actually the reflection of the owner's personality. You would find out that no one is involved or contributed into the vision. The whole vision is contributed by the entrepreneur or the founder of that organization, and he promotes it single-mindedly. You see that I just take one example. There could be many examples. You see that if even we take the example of Malaysia, which was transformed in 1970s by Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. He was the only person who had a vision for his country. And under the light of that vision, he transformed the whole country. Nobody else shared that vision. I mean, all other accepted that vision, struggled for that, but the vision was single-mindedly promoted by the gentleman, Dr. Mahathir Mohamad. This also happens in case of Apple, we see that Steve Jobs. In case of Microsoft, we see that the gentleman who is the owner of Microsoft, he is the one who actually single-mindedly promoted his vision. And this is true for all the organizations. Now we move on to the fourth premise. The strategic vision is thus malleable, and so entrepreneurial strategy tends to be deliberate and emergent. It is very important point. In previous three schools, strategy was only deliberate. In the descriptive schools, as entrepreneurial is a bridge between two prescriptive and descriptive schools, now strategy is simultaneously deliberate and emergent. And malleable means what is flexible and what can be given different shapes by hammering. This is a beautiful word used here. The strategy is malleable. Malleable means that you have got something in your mind, and through the hammers on the course, as you travel through the hammers of the environment, it gets another shape. It's flexible. So this is in the entrepreneurial school, and it is the distinction of this school from the other three schools. The organization is likewise malleable, a simple structure responsive to the leader's directives. I urge you, and during the further course of this subject, I'll also be recommending you some of the cases of the entrepreneurial firms. You would find out that entrepreneurial organizations have got a very flexible structure, and their structure is actually like the mercury. Then it takes the shape in whichever container we put it into. And in case of the organization under the entrepreneurial school, organization takes the shape what entrepreneur wants it to take. The sixth one is entrepreneurial strategy tends to take the form of niche. Remember that entrepreneurial firms, they always niche operators initially actually. And you all know that under the marketing you have studied what niche is. A specific market, part of a market segment. Even Apple, you see that it's a niche player. Mercedes is a niche player. BMW is a niche player. Rolls-Royce is a niche player. So there are many entrepreneurial organizations which are niche players. Hope you are clear now about what entrepreneurial school is and how it is different from the other schools. I also hope that now you are ready to get transformed from the prescriptive school of strategic management to the descriptive school of strategic management. Thank you very much.